and hit that the heart button as well. That'd be super awesome. Okay, so give me one sec. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, cool. So here's where we are, guys. The formula for getting a consistent, predictable flow of commercial listings in less than 30 days. So here's what I have found, guys. A lot of people can stumble across how to get some success in the business, but what's most difficult is getting a consistent, predictable flow of listings, right? So that's what we're here to do, guys, is show you exactly how we do it and break apart the formula, because what we really do is we take the typical brokerage model and we turn it on its head. Literally turn it on its head. We do things that are really strange in comparison to what you've been taught. So, I'm going to show you exactly how we do the things that we do, right? And why we do them, more importantly, because knowing the what is good, knowing the how is great, but knowing the why, that's going to allow you to figure things out for yourself. When you know what you're trying to accomplish, it makes your life a heck of a lot easier, okay? Cool. So let's get hopping onto this right now. All right. Attention, commercial agents. Struggling to hit the level of earnings that you know you're capable of? Any of you that this resonates with, give me a thumbs up, right? Because I know, and you should by this point too, a lot of people tell you you have to list to last, right? That commercial listings are the key to unlocking the highest level of earnings. Now, but the problem most people come across is they just don't know how to earn those listings on a consistent and repeatable basis. Now, if this resonates with you guys, if you're struggling to hit what you want to do, if you know that you need to take listings, this is what you are come to the right place, and this is why we're here, right? Okay, what if I told you that in just using a few small shifts to your business, you can begin to see results almost immediately? Okay, guys? Because you're probably doing, like I mentioned before, you're probably doing many of the right things that you need to be doing in your business, and success isn't nearly as far away as you might think it is. Too good to be true, right? Well, here's the thing, guys. As I started to allude to before, right, the key to your success lies more in deletion than addition. And here's what I mean, right? That like once you start doing less of the wrong things and more of the right things, what happens is this creates a compound effect. Now, that compound effect, what it winds up doing is it creates what's called the hockey stick principle. So I'm sure some of you out there are in your first year, 2, maybe 3 of business, right? And if you look at this, there's like 4 stages of hockey stick growth. In the beginning, you're tinkering. You're trying to figure out, am I doing the right thing? You know, is this the right one? Is this the right business model? Yada, yada, yada. You know, how many of you guys have ever tinkered? You felt like you've been tinkering in your business and you're just kind of like, I do a little bit of this broker tells me that, blah, 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 blah. You do me a favor, put #tinker if you've ever felt like you're tinkering your business, like trying stuff, just not sure if it's really the right way to go, right? And then what happens over time, you get a little bit of success and you go into what they call the blade years, right? This is the blade of the hockey stick. And that's when it's like, okay, I'm getting a little bit of traction. I'm not really getting as far as I want, but I know a few of the right things to do, okay? And then you start doing the right things on purpose and you do less of the wrong things on purpose. And that's when you hit what's called an inflection point, okay? Once you start doing those things, you will get surging growth. It happened to me, guys. I went from making 6 figures, but from just barely cracking 100 to making close to 500 in 24 months, okay? Because of the inflection point, and you can do it too. Just a regular dude, just not afraid to pick up the phone. That's all. Not afraid to work hard, okay? Now, this is not your daddy's approach, right? This is not the approach that your 60-year-old broker that's sitting in the office who's been in the business since the 80s is going to prescribe to you, frankly, because he doesn't know it. This is an approach that's turned the entire standard commercial business model on its head, right? Now, if you guys would like to learn a little bit more about how to turn the model on its head, give me a thumbs up, all right? Give me a thumbs up and a couple hearts, because this is where we really get into the meat and potatoes, okay? So this model that we're going to go into, right, it flies directly in the face of what most common, like old school brokers, like I mentioned, and managing directors recommend to their newer brokers and agents that are coming into the business, right? Now, it has nothing to do with being an expert in a property type or a certain market, right? It has to do with everything with having a proactive approach that, when followed, will create an endless stream of listings into your business. If you guys are here to learn how to take listings, give me a thumbs up, put hashtag listings in the comments. I'll wait. I will wait. Come on. Come on. Come on, guys. We got to get fired up about this, because if you don't have enthusiasm in your business, long after the motivation goes away, you're going to fall back to the same old stuff you're doing. So give me some thumbs up. Give me some hashtag listing if you want to take listings, because if you want to last in this business, you have to list in this business. You're with me, guys? Okay. I promise you, the second you do, it's the difference between holding a tiger by its tail and getting pulled throughout your day, working with buyers, working with small leases and all this other stuff. It goes from there, and then it goes to, you got a tiger and you're pulling the leash and you're pulling the tiger where it needs to go. It is literally that difference in your business. I promise you guys, you need to do this. The more listings you take, the more in control of your business you are, and he or she who controls their time controls their income. Simple as that, right? So here's the thing, guys. It makes no difference whether you're younger or older, right? It makes no difference whether you're inexperienced or experienced. This method works for everyone that follows it, right? If they can do it, so can you. Take Scott Gilbert, for instance, right? He's one of my students. Scott had trouble booking listing appointments, right? He tried, wasn't getting a whole lot of meetings and appointments, right? In his third week prospecting with our scripts and conversation frameworks, he booked 7 appointments in 5 days. Listen to that again, guys. 7 appointments in 5 days. When was the last time you guys booked 7 appointments in 5 days? It's okay to admit it, right? Because like before I came across this, I never booked 7 appointments in 5 days either, right? But Scott figured it out, and in 3 weeks he was doing that. And many of them came from him leaving a message with the right tonality and the right phrasing, so that to get people to call him back. How many of you guys would like a call back every once in a while, instead of just like leaving message after message after message and no one gets back with you? Do me a favor, type hashtag callback if you'd like a customer to call you back, so you don't have to keep chasing and chasing and chasing them. Chasing and chasing and chasing. Who's with me, right? You ever been there where it's like you call them 3, 5, 8, 10 times and they just haven't returned your call, right? Doesn't it stink, guys? I'm here to tell you, it doesn't have to be that way, okay? So let's go back. Go back. How far back? Way back. Okay. So Sante, he's one of my students, right? Sante came to me, guys. Remember how I mentioned that it doesn't matter whether if you're younger or you're older. He was 67 years old when he came to us, right? His first sale transaction in coaching, he earned a $39,000 commission, okay? The next deal, he earned $45,000. So guys, what's your excuse? You know, if someone who's been he was on the residential side for 37 years before having his first commercial transaction. First one, boom, out of the park, 39K. So in a very short period of time, he earned over $80,000 in commercial, and he had never done a deal before, a commercial deal before he had come to us, right? So here's the thing, it's not your fault, guys, right? The problem is, chances are you were told by your broker, your managing director, or maybe a senior agent on your team or in your office or whatever, that you need to do the following. And I tell you what, guys, do me a favor, raise your hand if you, or I should say, give me a thumbs up in the chat if any of these have ever applied to you, right? The fact that someone told you got to pick one property and become the specialist in that property type. If that's the case, give me a thumbs up right now, right? Okay. If anyone has ever told you pick one specific area of town, one rectangle, one submarket, blah, 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 and become the quote unquote, I'm using air quotes, expert in that. If that's the case, go ahead and slam the heart button, okay? And finally, if anyone has ever told you, get involved in every transaction in your area of expertise, this little rectangle or whatever, you know, and every lease, every sale, every purchase. If you guys have ever gotten that advice, let me know. Go ahead and give me a thumbs up, okay? Right? Because here's the thing, okay? You guys were all fed the same line. I was too. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just that will get you a certain result, and we'll get into that in just a second, right? Now, let me guess. Okay. You've had your hand up for 1, 2, or even all 3 of these. Okay. Just so you know, you're not alone. And let me also guess, I'm going to be a mind reader, like, let me guess that your results were average at best, right? I'm also willing to guess that you probably closed some small lease deals, maybe some deals that were like made just some money, but just weren't really enough to really pay the bills, or just enough to maybe keep the lights on, right? Maybe you wind up working with buyers that wind up ghosting more often than not. By the way, guys, just as a way of seeing, the temperature here. Okay. I'm putting my hand up because it's absolutely happened to me more times than I could possibly count. How many of you guys, now before I stopped working with buyers, how many of you guys have ever been ghosted by a buyer? Okay. Someone that you ran them around, you did a bunch of research for them, you sent them properties, you did this, you did that, and they ghost you. Do me a favor and type ghost in the chat if that has ever happened to you. If you have ever been ghosted, you did all your best efforts, and the way they thanked you, the way they repaid you was by not answering your calls, disregarding your emails, disregarding your texts. Type ghost, okay? And do me a favor, guys, let me know if you thought that was fair, okay? Because I don't know about you, I don't like getting ghosted. I don't like people that take my time and my knowledge and they say, okay, thank you very much, I appreciate that, and they stop answering me. It's like being in a conversation with somebody and then not answering your question. To me, it's downright rude, because if my students that are on the line right now, right, they'll attest. We talk about it all the times in the program. 2 things we have to sell. Can anybody tell me, and you guys that are regulars here also, right? How many of you guys have ever heard me say, what are the 2 things we have to sell in brokerage, right? We have our time and we have our knowledge. Our time is a non-renewable, precious commodity. If you think that money is the most precious commodity, it's not. It's time. Nobody, not Elon Musk, not Bill Gates, not Warren Buffett, the guys with all the money in the world cannot buy time, right? So just remember, once you have given that time away to somebody, you can never, ever get it back. That's why I guard my schedule like a security guard, right? With a machine gun. Like, nobody gets on my schedule unless I know that they are worthy of my time, because I recognize fully that it's my most valuable commodity, right? So here we go, guys, right? So how many of you, maybe through the efforts, somehow or another it fell in your lap and you got a sale listing, right? Awesome. Love it, right? Maybe it came from your sphere of influence, maybe it came from someplace else, but you didn't know how to repeat it. Okay. If you guys are looking for something that you can take and you can do over and over and over again and repeat it, that's what we're here to talk about today, guys. Okay. So, boom. Who is to blame? Right? Everybody loves to point a finger. We're in a society where we always look to find someone, and frankly, there is someone to blame here, right? It's the well-intentioned broker. It's the old guy in the office who, he came up 25 years ago. He doesn't seem to have to lift a finger to get business. Business just kind of comes his way nowadays. You guys, give me a thumbs up if you see a guy, like an older guy in the office, that you're just like, how does this dude do it? Like, how does he just crush these big deals? It just doesn't make any sense. They're not working real hard. They just have a real good network of people, and deals just come to them, year after year after year. Go ahead and slam the like button and let me know if you see anyone in your business like that. Maybe it's your broker, managing director, whatever, the owner of the business. But the problem is, guys, that they are teaching you what they learned when they got started in the business. Now, here's the problem, guys. If they came up 25, 30, 40 years ago, things were done very differently in those days, guys, very differently. Their methods are as old as this phone. Now, I don't know how old some of you guys are, but I am old enough to remember dialing from the landline at home as a kid on one of these phones, okay? So imagine putting yourself back 35, 40 years, right? And dialing from a phone whose technology is as old as this. The problem is the technology that a lot of these brokers are teaching you worked when Reagan was in office, when Carter was in office, when maybe George Bush Sr. was in office many, many years ago, right? It would be like trying to take, can you imagine, those of you younger folks that are in the dating world, can you imagine taking dating advice from your grandmother, right? That's literally what it'd be like. Hey, grandma, where should I go to meet a nice person? Oh, well, you just, no, because what worked 50 years ago doesn't work in 2022. The same thing goes for brokerage techniques, guys, right? So the thing is, you don't have to work with these old methods. There is a better way, but to get different results, you're going to have to do things a bit differently. Now, guys, do me a favor, in the chat, type results if you want to get different results this time. Okay, type results in the chat. I want to know how many of you guys are interested in actually changing something about your business so that you actually put in different effort and actually get different results, because that's what it's all about, guys. What is Einstein famous for saying? The definition of insanity is repeating the same actions over and over again and expecting different results, right? What Einstein is talking about, and what I'm mentioning in this slide here, is that if you want a different outcome, you have to change the input, right? So think of it this way, guys. If you're baking a cake, right? You put flour in, you put eggs in, you put butter in, you mix it all up. Guess what? You change that recipe, the cake's going to come out differently, right? And that's what I'm inviting you guys to do, is to open your minds, forget about what the 60-year-old broker in your office taught you, okay? And let's talk about a newer approach, a different approach that's vastly different than what has been taught to you and your senior team members. I guarantee you your senior team members are teaching you this stuff, right? Well-intentioned, but just doesn't work in 2022. That's what I'm here to tell you guys, all right? So are you committed to change? Are you guys really actually committed? And change just means doing something that's a little different, something that's a little bit outside your comfort zone. If you're willing to do that, if you're open to do that, you'll be open to getting different results, right? Because I have been there myself, right? I know what it's like to have rent due and you didn't make enough money from that small dinky little lease deal or that person that ghosted you to pay the rent this month, and you got to go into your savings, that money that you squirreled away for years and years and years. And what you wind up doing is you wind up going backwards. You know, I don't know anybody that likes to go backwards, myself especially. I cannot stand it, going into savings and watching my savings dwindle and dwindle and dwindle. Not worth it, right? So even though you've been doing all the right things your broker's been telling you to do, you've been doing the things, you've been watching the classes, you've been watching your company's training, at the end of the day, you're just not getting results, right? I know what it's like to have the Friday come and you work really hard and you can't even go out on the weekend because you can't afford to go out and spend money that's not necessary because you haven't brought in any money this month. I know exactly what that feels like, guys. But the question is, forget your past. What's past is past, right? The question is, do you really want to keep doing it that way? Do you want to have to worry about money deal to deal to deal? Do you want to have to cross your fingers and hope and hope and hope? It just doesn't work that way, guys, right? So if you're ready to take the next step and book a free strategy session with our team, what we're going to do is just type training, #training down below. Okay, guys, #training. If you're ready to take the next step, by all means, hit us up and we will reach out to you and schedule a time to talk about you and your specific situation. Okay. So here's something. I don't know if you guys recognize him, but this is a gentleman by the name of Cy Sperling. He was the president of the Hair Club for Men, and his commercials were on TV back in like the 80s and the early 90s, right? And he was very famous for many, many years. And then it was one of those things where you just remember like the I've fallen and I can't get up commercials. Like he was famous like that back when everybody watched TV, everybody watched commercials, you know. So if you guys recognize Mr. Sperling, type in Hair Club for me. All right. I just want to see like who's in my age range, right? I feel like an old fart sometimes, but like I'm only 45. But you know, generationally, like a lot of people don't know who Cy Sperling is. So I want to know who my Cy Sperling fans are, right? But seriously though, similar to Cy Sperling, right? I'm not only the president, but I'm also a client. And here's what I mean, right? That's me. Here, I live in Miami. In fact, if you look right out here, this is off my back balcony here, right? I live on the bay. Life is really good nowadays, guys. I have nothing to complain about. But there was a time where it wasn't that good. Okay, it was a time when things just were not clicking. Things just didn't fall in my lap. There was a time where I absolutely struggled, right? I'll give you a few of my credentials. As you well know, if you guys have been following me, I'm owner of Dark Horse Commercial, right? That's my brokerage company. I have my CCIM designation. It's basically like a PhD for commercial real estate, for lack of a better term, but it's like the highest designation you can get in commercial real estate. It stands for Certified Commercial Investment Member, right? I've been in commercial real estate for 19 years this year, and I'm also an investor, right? I own my own warehouses, so none of this stuff is just like something I read in a book or theory or whatever. I do all of it. Everything that I'm showing you, talking to you about, I have done myself, rolled my sleeves up and done it, baked out in the sun in a suit in Miami in 90 degrees, and done all of the things that I'm here to tell you guys about, right? From both the brokerage side, from the ownership side, I've been on all sides of the coin, right? Now, people ask me, well, do you practice what you preach? Absolutely. And in fact, look at that piece of paper I have in my hand. That's a wire transfer. We're gonna close up in on that for a second, but just so you guys know, all right, just so you know that like this isn't just theory, this isn't just some BS, this isn't a bunch of horse doo-doo, right? This is an example of a commission that I earned. What was it? Back in December, right, guys? There were years where I dreamed of six-figure years. Okay. Never realizing that six-figure commissions were ahead of me, guys, okay? This is one for a building I sold. It was like a 22,000 square foot industrial building, earned $100,500. Guys, do me a favor and type in six figures if you want to earn six-figure commissions. This is a commission that I earned in one day from one sale transaction. You with me? One day, I earned $100,500 in one day. Was it a fluke? I don't know. You tell me. How about this one? Maybe this was a fluke, right, guys? This is another one. One day, one commission, one sale, $178,000. Okay? You're starting to see a trend here, guys. Big commissions in this business. And I'm not telling you I'm the smartest guy on earth. I'm just telling you I followed a very specific plan and I picked up the phone and called people. Okay, guys? Let me tell you, maybe this was a fluke too. Oh, what's this? Okay, now we're talking, right? This one was for $207,000. Okay, guys, are you starting to see a pattern here? You follow an approach, it makes you money. You do it over and over again. You continue to get results. Remember what I promised to teach you in the beginning, guys? A repeatable, consistent way of getting listings, because listings are the way to last in this business, guys. If you're with me, if you guys want to earn six-figure commissions, slam that thumbs up, slam that heart button. Tell me if you want to make your life better, because here's the thing, guys. This business is not all about the money. It's not. It's about being able to make your life better, the life for your family, for your children, for your community. If you guys want that, let me know, okay? Put in impact. Type impact into the comments, guys, because that's really what it's about. It's not about going out and driving a Lambo. I don't have a Lamborghini. I don't have a penthouse, but I am comfortable, live within my means. I give back. I help others. That's what I like to do. Okay, guys. So if you guys want to make an impact in your life, your family's life, your community, the world at large, type impact in the comments for me, guys, because that's really what it comes down to. Right? I'm trying to make an impact in your lives. I don't know if you're picking up my drift, but I'm trying to help others. I'm trying to make your life just a little bit easier, because most brokers, I'm willing to bet, in your office are holding back a little bit. They don't want to teach you too much because you are the future competition, right? I know it happened to me. It has happened to other people I've spoken to. A lot of people don't like to help the younger brokers because they're afraid they're going to create competition. I say, forget that. I pay it forward and I want to help you guys. I've even taught people in my city, even sold the course to people in my city, because I do not believe in competition. Okay, guys? So if you guys want to earn big commissions, let me know. I can show you how. Now, here's the thing. The real reason why what's going on what's happening in your business is a lot of things, like I mentioned, are outdated and overdone. And here's what I mean, right? If everybody else is doing the exact same thing as you, guess what? You're going to get the same results as everybody else, okay? I'm willing to bet they're average at best, because common methods bring about common results. I'll say it again. Common methods bring about common results. You want outsized earnings, you need to do something very different from the norm. You want, just like everybody else has, you want to be average, do what the average guy is doing. You don't want to do that. I promise you. Okay. So my question to you is, what are you going to do differently so that you can get different results? Okay. How do we get different results in the training program, right? The way we get uncommon results is by approaching the business in a very uncommon way. Like I said, we turn the entire business model upside down. Remember before when I asked you, to pick one, if anyone has ever instructed you to pick one property type, pick one specific area, and to get involved in every lease transaction, buy transaction, and sell transaction in your area of expertise, right? You guys with me? We do the opposite of that. It sounds simple, but it's so beautiful in its simplicity. Here's what I mean. First of all, we start by specializing in sales only. Those buyers, throw them in the garbage. The leases, throw them in the garbage. Roll up your sleeves, back yourself into a corner, and do nothing but sales. Your future self will thank you. Your banker will thank you in about 6 to 9 months from now. Second part, stop limiting yourself to just one property type. If you want to do sales only, you got to open up the size of the audience that you're willing and able to do business with, right? The next part is stop limiting yourself to one small little geographical area, right? When you start doing it, you start opening up your opportunities fivefold, tenfold by opening so many more doors, by specializing in sales, but then opening up the amount of property types. Instead of doing one property type, imagine being able to sell 4 or 5 or even 6 different property types. I can show you how. The other thing is you can, when you stop limiting yourself to a small geographical area and make it as wide as you need to, what you do is you wind up opening it as wide as you need to accommodate the amount of money you want to make. It's literally that simple, guys, right? So at this point, you got 3 options, okay? Those of you who are here with me, you've been along, you've been listening, you show up every week. You got 3 options at this point, guys, if you haven't already started doing something different, right? You can, number one, disregard everything I said today. Disregard everything. Go home, have dinner with your family, put your feet up, watch some Netflix, and kick it. Just don't be upset tomorrow when your life is exactly the same as it was today, okay? The other part is you can go it alone. You can take the things that you're learning here and then try to implement them in the real world. Try to duplicate what I've been able to do, my other students have been able to do, right? Try to duplicate that. Or you can accelerate your growth and get it right by being coached by someone that's already done it successfully over and over again and has helped others do the exact same thing. Which would you prefer, right? So if you want to learn how to list and sell commercial properties without all the guesswork, trial and error, and take your commercial listings business, your next commercial listing in 30 days or less, we might be able to help you, right, guys? Take Tyler Ray, for example, one of my students. 26 years old, in less than 90 days prospecting with our systems, he took 6 listings worth over $8 million. His most recent listing was $3.15 million hotel. He's 26, guys. He's knocking it out of the park. The total commissions for that were over $400,000 for potential commissions, right? In less than 90 days. He started doing this February 1st. Here we are just a few months later. He's killing it, guys. Do you want to have success like that? Maybe you want to take Katie Henderson, for example, another one of my students, right? 28 years old. Her first listing she took 2 months into the program was $895,000. 6 months with us, she closed 8 transactions. Guys, she's not the only one. Sarah, she prospected for and got a buyer for a $4.2 million property under contract in less than 2 weeks. Guys, this is repeatable. It's there for everybody. You just have to do the work. Okay, Abby Stancato left his full-time job to go into commercial. His first transaction put $37,000 in his pocket, and he's just getting started. So we can help, guys. If you're an ambitious commercial agent that just needs the right process, we can help you. If you're coachable and willing to try new methods to get new outcomes, we can help you. If you're decisive and you make a commitment and go with it full steam ahead, we can help you. If you have a burning desire, and I mean burning desire for success, and are willing to put in the hard work to make things happen, we can help. If you aren't, however, willing to put in the work, nothing we can do. If you're wishy-washy and non-committal, can't help you. If you blame others or outside forces for your failures, not going to help. It's and if it's really not that important, if you're okay with status quo, that's fine. We only work with people that really want to make their lives better and the lives of their family and their future. Okay. So just imagine what your business could be like, guys. If you knew who to call, you had their cell phone number, you knew precisely what to say, you were trained on how to deliver the message. If they didn't pick up, you knew what to say to get them to call you back. Imagine what that level of business will be like so that you can get the listing appointment, right? And then once you got the appointment, you knew every question to ask, every statement to make, and exactly what data to present to persuade them, right? Imagine that if you could persuade them to get your pricing and your listing term length. Imagine that, right? And then also what statements to make and what questions to ask so you knew how to close them for the listing. Having that level of clarity, guys, what would that do for you if you knew what you should be doing every hour of the day to maximize your efficiency? What things you should be doing, and more importantly, what you shouldn't be doing. And what also, if you imagine if you had accountability for people to hold your feet to the fire on the days you really don't feel like doing those things, to make sure that you're doing the right things and doing the most of them, right? If you had that kind of business, that level of clarity, that level of support, would it make a difference in your life and in your business, right? If you had the income you wanted, would it lead to more income? Would it lead to less stress if you had that level of income? Maybe you take more time off, more vacations, no more working nights and weekends, more time to family, guys. This is what we're here to do. We're here to make your lives better if you're willing to work for it, right? So if you don't want to do anything, just keep doing the same thing as everyone else in your office. Keep doing the lease deals that keep you busy, but don't exactly make you rich. They don't put much money in your pocket, right? If you're working with buyers that waste your time, they change your minds, or worse yet, ghost you, go ahead, keep working with them if you don't want to do anything. You can keep going to networking events with those, what I call networking vampires, those people that have nothing to offer you and when they just want something out of you, right? They just want to suck your blood, so to speak, right? And if you want to keep living from deal to deal, transaction to transaction, crossing your fingers, hoping it works, just keep doing what you're doing. You can hope to save for your kids' college. You can hope to save for your retirement, but last I checked, guys, hope is not a business.